Hey everyone, I'm Mykey. I'm an ambassador with Manic Panic. Today I'm going to show you how to prevent darker colours from bleeding into your lighter shades when working with Manic Panic hair colour. The colours I've chosen to work with today are Manic Panic Professional Blue Velvet with Blue Steel and Bad Boy Blue to create a pastel blue. The reason I've chosen to use Manic Panic Professional for this one is because we're doing the dark blue in the roots and it's going to prevent the colour from bleeding into our lighter shade on the ends. The Manic Panic Pro is a gel-based formula. It creates a protective film on the hair which prevents it from bleeding when you rinse with cold water. I'm going to use a small amount of Pro Pastelizer with our Blue Velvet because this is going to help create a barrier to prevent it from bleeding into our lighter shade. Because the Blue Velvet is so pigmented, this small amount of pastelizer is not going to dilute the colour or change the intensity. By using a combination of Blue Steel and a little bit of Bad Boy Blue, we're going to make a custom pastel shade of blue for the ends. So I'm going to use the whole jar of Blue Steel. The Blue Steel is a really pastel light blue, and by adding a drop of Bad Boy Blue, we're going to make it a little bit more of a baby blue. And just for some added security of not bleeding, I'm going to add the remainder of the pastelizer in with our light blue. This is my model Dylan that I'm going to demonstrate how to do a darker blue into a lighter blue on. We've pre-lightened Dylan's hair using a 20 volume developer and lightener, and I've pre-toned it with Silver Stiletto by Manic Panic. I'm just putting a barrier oil around Dylan's hairline to prevent any staining from the colour. When you're creating custom shades of Manic Panic, it's a good idea to do a test strand before you apply the whole colour, just to ensure that the colour result is what you desire. I've divided the hair into 4 and I'm starting at the back. I only need a small amount of Manic Panic Pro because the colour is so highly pigmented. I'm just going to stretch the colour down and then melt it into our lovely light blue that we've made. Placing a mesh sheet underneath just to make sure our section is nice and neat. So we're working in sections of about ½ an inch, and we're working our way up the hair in quarters until we've applied all the colour. By working the excess into the hair and emulsifying it, you run less of a risk of the product bleeding onto the lighter ends because there's no excess sitting on the outside of the hair. We were going for a more aqua tone on Dylan's hair, so we didn't lighten all the way to platinum, but if you're looking for a more typical result with Blue Steel, apply it to a 10 level clean ash blonde. Once the colour's on, you want to process it for at least 30 minutes, but you might want to process it for a little bit longer just to ensure that the colour doesn't bleed. So once the colour's processed for 30 minutes, I'm so sure that it won't run that I will put a comb through it and you'll see that the root colour will not even bleed into the ends. So you can see by rinsing with cold water, we've had no bleeding of the two blues. So I'm using the Keep Colour Alive Colour Safe Conditioner by Manic Panic to help Dylan's colour. When you're using conditioner at home and you have darker and lighter colours, just make sure you don't leave the conditioner on your hair for too long, as this can invite the pigment to float down into the lighter shade. Such a good blue on the ends, hey?
So good. Obsessed. So good.
Yay! Yay! Here is our stunning result on Dylan, and as you can see, we've done a shadow root with the darker blue, being Blue Velvet, into our lighter ends, and it hasn't bled because we've used Manic Panic Professional, and all of the shades last up to 40 shampoos for more longevity. You can find all of your favourite shades of Manic Panic on their website at manicpanic.com, and remember to tag us on Instagram to show us your creations at Manic Panic NYC. Have fun, diehards!